olive white sheep by using rods of different trees and different wood types and directing the view of their mother toward water or other things. This was his way of creating a herd of his own, as the agreement with his uncle was that he could have any sheep which were born with markings, and his uncle would only keep the pure white sheep, as they were the most prized in market. One night, when Jacob was traveling, he was tested by an angel by wrestling. He was engaged in fighting with the angel until the dawn, when finally his hip was injured, and he walked with a limp throughout the rest of his life. The angel then said that Allah would reward his faith by bestowing the name Israel upon him. Therefore, Jacob alayhi salam is the father of all the 12 tribes of Israel through each of his sons, through both of his wives. Joseph, or Yusuf alayhi salam, was Jacob's 11th son and the first from his most beloved wife Rachel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed the gift of prophecy on Yusuf at a very young age, and as a result, he was the target of jealousy from his older brothers. And when Joseph was about 16 years of age, his brothers faked his death and sold him into slavery, where he was later delivered to Egypt. It is interesting to note that the caravan that the brothers sold Joseph to was actually a group from the lineage of Ishmael alayhi salam traveling in trade to Egypt. In Egypt, he was the personal servant of Potiphar according to the Bible. According to various biblical scholars, Potiphar could have been one of a long list of people. Now, some say that he was the advisor and vizier of Pharaoh Amenemhat III, while others say that the title could have been a general term for a scholar of Ra, the sun god, and still others that the term could be an ancient Hebrew expression, pa de per, which is used generally for all Egyptians. In the Qur'an, we are told the title of this master as Al-Aziz, which indicates someone of very high status, as the term literally means the unapproachable. And it could be a strong indicator that this person was a high priest. Now, historically, we are also referred to the fact that Joseph alayhi salam lived in Egypt after the end of the Middle Kingdom, but before the start of the New Kingdom, which is the time of the pharaohs, and most likely during the reign of King Salidas. Now, I bring up this point just because in the Bible, the king during Joseph's boyhood slavery in Egypt and during his later release from prison is referred to as a pharaoh, whereas in the Qur'an, the title is king. The historically accurate title is king. I just want to illustrate that as another proof of the authenticity of the Qur'an. We know from biblical and Islamic sources that the wife of Joseph's master was stricken with his beauty. This is because Allah had bestowed half the beauty of all creation upon Joseph alayhi salam and his mother. She, the wife of Joseph's master, tried to seduce him several times and failed because of his extreme devotion to Allah and his principles. Zuleika attempted to seduce him once by giving him fine sheets and clothing with the best of food and drinks that Egypt had to offer, and he refused her advances. The next time, she attempted to coerce him into having an affair with threats. Her obsession with Yusuf alayhi salam actually made Zuleika sick for a long time. Now, there was a rumor at this time spreading among the wealthy women that Zuleika was shaming herself by attempting to seduce a slave. So she invited all the women over for a dinner and had Yusuf alayhi salam bathed and put on elegant clothing so that she could show all the women what her dilemma was. Zuleika had the women serve with oranges and knives to peel those oranges, and as soon as the women began to peel them, she sent Yusuf alayhi salam out to serve them. Now all the women were gathered and were unable to keep their eyes from his beauty, and they all cut their hands. Now when Zulaikha had seen this, she exclaimed, "Now you see what I have to endure every day?" In the end, her desire was so extreme that she wanted to kill her husband so that Yusuf could marry her legally. She even declared that she would encourage all of Egypt to embrace the faith of Allah if she could just have him. Yusuf alayhi salam was tested greatly by her, but he resisted time and time again and held firm onto his faith in Allah. Finally, she could take it no more, and she chased him with a sword, demanding that he submit himself to her sexual cravings. She ended up collapsing and cutting off a part of his robe. Zulaikha used a portion of his robe as evidence and made false accusations against Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah commanded her 11-month-old baby to speak and proclaim Yusuf's innocence. Unfortunately, Zulaikha's husband was more concerned with saving face than protecting the innocence of Yusuf alayhi salam. So the minister sent him to prison. Yusuf shared his prison cell with the Pharaoh's cupbearer, similar to a butler and head cook. Now, we're going to talk to you a little bit more about what happened with the butler and the head cook, but right now we need to take a quick station break.